Have you ever wondered what happened to the beloved cast of Are You Being Served? After the show came to a close, airing from 1972 to 1985, this iconic British sitcom brought laughter to millions with its witty humor and unforgettable characters at Grace Brothers department store. The cast, with their eccentric personalities and charm, became household names. But once the series ended, what did they do next? From continuing their acting careers to stepping out of the spotlight, each of the actors had their own unique journey after the show's final episode. Join us as we take a closer look at where the stars of Are You Being Served are now and what their post-show lives have been like. John Inman, born on June 28, 1935, in Preston, Lancashire, England, was a beloved British actor best known for his iconic role as Mr. Humphreys in the long-running sitcom Are You Being Served? 1972 to 1985. He was 37 years old when he began playing Mr. Humphreys, a character known for his flamboyant personality and memorable catchphrase, "I'm free." The role made Inman a household name in the UK and beyond, and he quickly became one of the most recognizable faces in British television comedy. Inman had a passion for acting from a young age and trained at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, ALAMDA. Before landing the role in Are You Being Served, he had appeared in various stage productions and TV shows, but it was Mr. Humphreys that would define his career. Inman's portrayal of the camp, charming, and often sarcastic department store assistant was both groundbreaking and beloved. Offering a rare, positive, and humorous portrayal of an openly gay character at a time when LGBTQ+ representation was limited in the media. Although Inman was never married and did not have children, he was in a long-term relationship with his partner, Dennis, whom he was deeply devoted to. Throughout his life, Inman was known to be a private individual who kept much of his personal life out of the public eye. But it was clear he was a loving partner and family member. He remained close to his family, including his nieces and nephews, and kept his private life separate from his public persona. After Are You Being Served, Inman struggled to find roles that matched the popularity of his character. He made several appearances in other TV shows and stage productions, but never reached the same level of fame. In 2001, he reprised his role as Mr. Humphreys in the short-lived spin-off series Grace and Favor, but it did not enjoy the same success. Inman passed away on March 8, 2007, at the age of 71 from complications of hepatitis A. Wendy Richard, born on July 20, 1943, in Middlesex, England, was a celebrated British actress, best known for her role as Miss Shirley Brahms in the sitcom Are You Being Served?, which aired from 1972 to 1985. Wendy was 29 when she first appeared in the show, where her character, a witty and flirtatious saleswoman at Grace Brothers department store, quickly became a fan favorite. Before Are You Being Served?, Wendy studied at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, LAMDA, and appeared in various television shows. However, it was her role in Are You Being Served? That made her a household name. Following the show's success, she reprised her role in the spin-off Grace and Favor in the late 1990s. In her personal life, Wendy married 3 times. Her first marriage was to actor Leonard Ray, but it ended in divorce. She later married journalist John Burns, though this relationship also ended. Her third marriage, to builder Steve Hancock in 2001, lasted until her death, and they were together during her battle with breast cancer. Wendy had no children, but was close to her family and colleagues, whom she considered her extended family. Wendy also found success in the BBC soap opera EastEnders, where she portrayed Pauline Fowler from 1985 until her death. Her performance as Pauline made her a key figure in the show's history. Despite being typecast after Are You Being Served?, Wendy continued to work in television, always winning fans over with her skill and charm. Wendy passed away on February 26, 2009, at the age of 65 after a 2-year battle with breast cancer. Her death was met with tributes from fans and fellow actors, and she left behind a lasting legacy in British television. Her portrayal of Miss Brahms and Pauline Fowler remains a defining part of her career, and she is remembered for her talent, warmth, and dedication. Molly Sugden was born on July 21, 1922, in the United Kingdom. She is best known for her portrayal of the eccentric Mrs. Slocum in the classic British sitcom Are You Being Served?, which aired from 1972 to 1985. Sugden was 50 years old when she began playing the role of the cheeky and flamboyant department store worker, a character that became one of the show's most iconic figures. Her sharp wit, distinctive voice, and memorable lines made her a beloved part of British television. Sugden's career began long before Are You Being Served? She had a strong foundation in theater, appearing in numerous West End productions. However, it was her role as Mrs. Slocum that brought her widespread fame. Despite the success of the sitcom, Sugden appeared in a number of other shows in the years following, including The Liverbirds and High and Dry, though none reached the same level of fame as her work on Are You Being Served? In her personal life, Molly Sugden married actor and writer William Moore in 1958, and they had 2 children, a son, Simon, and a daughter. The couple enjoyed a long and happy marriage until Moore's death in 2000. Sugden was known for being private about her family life, but spoke fondly of her husband and children. While Sugden's role as Mrs. Slocum was undoubtedly the highlight of her career, she continued to make occasional television appearances after the show ended. However, by the 1990s, she had largely retired from acting. Molly Sugden passed away on July 1, 2009, at the age of 86. She left behind a lasting legacy, with her portrayal of Mrs. Slocum remaining a high point in British comedy. Though Sugden is no longer with us, her contribution to television comedy is remembered fondly by fans worldwide. Trevor Bannister, born on August 14, 1934, in Birmingham, England, is best known for his role as Mr. Lucas in the classic British sitcom Are You Being Served? 1972 to 1985. At the time of his casting, he was 38 years old, and his portrayal of the charming, sometimes cheeky junior salesman at Grace Brothers made him a fan favorite. His character often found himself at odds with his older colleagues, adding to the show's comedic dynamic. Before Are You Being Served?, Trevor had a career in theater and television, but the sitcom became his breakthrough role. He had appeared in a variety of productions, but it was his performance as Mr. Lucas that solidified his place in British television history. Although the show was a major success, Trevor's career post Are You Being Served? Didn't replicate that level of fame, though he continued acting in television dramas and stage performances. Trevor was married to Anne, and they had a relatively private life. The couple had 2 children, but Trevor kept details about his family out of the public eye. His personal life was largely away from the spotlight, and he was known for being reserved about his private affairs. In terms of his career, Are You Being Served? Was undeniably the highlight, and after the show ended, he appeared in a few other TV projects, but none reached the same level of popularity. Despite this, Trevor remained respected within the entertainment industry and continued to act in various roles. Sadly, Trevor Bannister passed away on April 14, 2011, at the age of 76, following a heart attack. His death marked the loss of one of the most beloved characters in British sitcom history. Fans continue to remember him fondly for his portrayal of Mr. Lucas, a role that remains iconic in British comedy. He is survived by his wife Anne, their children, and many fans who still celebrate his contribution to television. Frank Thornton was born on January 15, 1921, in Harrow, London, England. He is best known for his role as Captain Peacock in the British sitcom Are You Being Served?, which aired from 1972 to 1985. At the time, Frank was 51 years old, with a long career in theater, film, and television already behind him. His portrayal of the stuffy and self-important floor manager at Grace Brothers department store became iconic, making him a staple of British comedy. Before his breakthrough on television, Frank had worked extensively in theater, performing in musicals and plays. He served in World War II, and after the war, he continued his acting career. Frank's big break came with Are You Being Served?, where his character's uptight and pompous nature was perfectly balanced with comedy. He worked alongside a talented ensemble cast, including John Inman and Molly Sugden, whose performances were also beloved by audiences. Frank married his wife, Coral, in 1957, and they had 2 children. The couple's relationship was known to be a happy and enduring one. Frank was known to be a humble and kind person in real life, contrasting with the self-important Captain Peacock. He enjoyed a quiet family life, far from the public eye, and remained married to Coral until his death. While Are You Being Served? Was the highlight of his career, Frank continued to act after the show ended, with notable appearances in Last of the Summer Wine and The Thin Blue Line. He also made guest appearances in various other television shows, but none reached the same level of recognition as his work in Are You Being Served? Frank passed away on March 16, 2013, at the age of 92. His death marked the loss of a beloved actor and the end of an era for fans of British sitcoms. Arthur Brough was born on February 26, 1905, in England. He is best known for playing Mr. Granger, the grumpy, old-fashioned salesman in the British sitcom Are You Being Served?, which aired from 1972 to 1985. At the time of his casting in 1972, Arthur was 67 years old and had already built a strong career in theater and television. Though he was relatively new to television sitcoms, his portrayal of the elderly, often exasperated Mr. Granger, became a standout role. Before Are You Being Served?, Arthur had a long career in the theater, particularly in the West End, as well as numerous radio and television appearances. His acting style, which combined gruffness with comedic timing, made him a perfect fit for Mr. Granger. He was part of the beloved ensemble cast, which included John Inman, Molly Sugden, and Frank Thornton, and helped create the lasting success of the show. Arthur married Edna in 1935, and they had 1 son, Peter. Their marriage was stable and private, with Arthur being described as a devoted husband and father. Though his career was public, he maintained a low profile regarding his personal life, preferring to keep his family out of the spotlight. Arthur's role in Are You Being Served? Marked the peak of his television career. His portrayal of Mr. Granger made him a household name, but his time on the show was cut short when he passed away unexpectedly on May 28, 1978, at the age of 73. His death left a gap in the show, and his character was written out, replaced by Mr. Lucas. Though his time on Are You Being Served? Was brief, Arthur's contribution to British television is fondly remembered. His performance as Mr. Granger remains one of the most iconic roles in the history of British sitcoms, and his legacy lives on through his work on the show. Arthur Brough is remembered not only for his acting talent, but for his warmth and comedic skill. Arthur English, born on May 9, 1919, in Aldershot, Hampshire, England, was a celebrated actor and comedian best known for his role as Mr. Harmon in the British sitcom Are You Being Served? 1972 to 1985. He joined the cast in 1976 at the age of 57, portraying the friendly maintenance man whose working-class charm added a distinctive dynamic to the show. Arthur remained a key part of the series until its conclusion in 1985, solidifying his place in British television history. Before his acting career, Arthur worked as a painter and decorator. His natural humor led him to the stage, where he gained fame as a stand-up comedian with a Cockney persona. This success eventually opened doors to acting roles in television and film. Besides Are You Being Served?, Arthur appeared in popular series such as Dad's Army and In Sickness, and in Health, and films like The Magnificent Seven Deadly Sins, 1971. In his personal life, Arthur married Ivy Ruth Martin in 1941, and the couple had 2 children, Anthony and Claire. They shared a long marriage until Ivy's death in 1975. Arthur remarried in 1977 to Teresa Mann, who remained his partner until his passing. Known for his warmth and down-to-earth nature, Arthur enjoyed a private yet fulfilling family life. Arthur's later years were marked by declining health, including a battle with emphysema. Despite this, he remained beloved by fans and colleagues. He passed away on April 16, 1995, at the age of 75. Arthur English's legacy as a talented entertainer endures, particularly for his unforgettable performance in Are You Being Served?, which continues to bring laughter to audiences worldwide. Nicholas Smith, born on March 5, 1934, in the UK, was best known for his role as Mr. Rumbold in the classic British sitcom Are You Being Served? He joined the show in 1972 at the age of 38, playing the bumbling department store manager until the series ended in 1985. His portrayal of Mr. Rumbold, an often clueless but well-meaning boss, made him a beloved figure in British television comedy. Before his fame from Are You Being Served?, Smith had an extensive career in television, film, and theater. He appeared in various British dramas and comedies, but it was his role on Are You Being Served? That brought him national recognition. Though the show ended in 1985, Smith continued working in television, appearing in programs like Last of the Summer Wine and other guest roles in British comedies. In his personal life, Nicholas Smith was married to actress Anne Davies. They had a happy and private marriage, and though they did not have children, Smith often spoke fondly of his wife. The couple was well respected in the entertainment industry for their long and strong relationship. Throughout his career, Smith was admired for his skillful portrayal of comedic characters, with Mr. Rumbold remaining his most iconic role. Even after Are You Being Served?, he continued to act in smaller projects, including voice work and theater, maintaining a quiet yet steady presence in the industry. Nicholas Smith passed away on December 6, 2015, at the age of 81. His death marked the loss of one of British television's most cherished actors. Despite his passing, his legacy lives on through his work, especially Are You Being Served?, which continues to entertain new generations of viewers. His professionalism, humor, and warmth have left an enduring impact on the world of British comedy. Mike Berry, born on September 24, 1942, in Northampton, England, is a British actor and singer best known for his role as Mr. Spooner in the sitcom Are You Being Served?, which aired from 1981 to 1985. He was 39 years old when he joined the cast, portraying the slightly awkward but endearing male assistant at Grace Brothers department store. Mike's character added a fresh dynamic to the show in its later years, and he became a beloved part of the ensemble. Before his acting career, Mike was a pop singer in the 1960s, with hits like You Don't Know and The Night Has a Thousand Eyes. While his music career didn't reach the heights of some of his contemporaries, Mike successfully transitioned into acting. He appeared in several television programs, including The Benny Hill Show and The Two Ronnies, building a reputation for his comedic timing and charming personality. Mike has been married twice. His first marriage was to singer and actress Karen in the late 1960s, though they later divorced. He found long-term happiness with his second wife, Susan, whom he married in the 1970s. They have had a stable and private family life, raising children together, though details about his family remain largely out of the public eye. In addition to Are You Being Served?, Mike's acting career included roles in EastEnders, Doctors, and various comedy shows. His performance as Mr. Spooner on Are You Being Served? Remains his most iconic role, but he continued to find success in television throughout his career. While his fame was more modest compared to other sitcom stars, Mike earned respect for his consistent work and likable on-screen presence. Now 82 years old, Mike Berry is retired from acting, but still fondly remembered for his contributions to British television. Harold Bennett, born on November 17, 1898 in London, England, was a well-known British actor, most famous for his role as young Mr. Grace in the sitcom Are You Being Served? 1972 to 1985. He was 73 when he began portraying the eccentric and often forgetful department store owner in 1972. Bennett's character was one of the series' highlights, providing comic relief with his quirky decisions and charmingly confused personality. Despite being in his 70s, his sharp comedic timing and stage experience made him an integral part of the show's success. Bennett's acting career spanned over 50 years, beginning in the 1920s with work in theater. He was well regarded in both the West End and regional theaters, particularly in comedies and light dramas. He also appeared in a number of films before his breakout role in Are You Being Served? His years of stage experience contributed greatly to his ability to handle the physical and verbal comedy the role demanded. His portrayal of young Mr. Grace helped establish the show's quirky, nostalgic tone. Details about Bennett's personal life are scarce, and he was a relatively private individual. He was married, but little is known about his wife or any children. Beyond his career, Bennett did not seek public attention for his private affairs. He continued to work in television in the early 1980s, though he began to step back from the industry due to declining health. After Are You Being Served?, Bennett's acting career slowed, and he largely retired from the limelight. He passed away on September 11, 1981, at the age of 82 from a heart attack. His death marked the end of a long and successful career, but his legacy lives on through his portrayal of young Mr. Grace. Though his personal life remains largely unknown, his work on Are You Being Served? Continues to be cherished by fans, and his contribution to British comedy remains significant. Kenneth Waller, born on November 5, 1927, in England, is best known for his role as old Mr. Henry Grace in the British sitcom Are You Being Served? He joined the show in 1981, playing the elderly and slightly forgetful owner of Grace Brothers department store. At the time, Kenneth was 54 years old, and his character brought an additional layer of humor to the series with his charming yet bumbling demeanor. Although he appeared in Are You Being Served? For only a few years, his portrayal of Mr. Grace left a lasting impact on fans. Before his role in Are You Being Served?, Kenneth had a diverse career in theater, television, and radio. He appeared in various productions, though it was the sitcom that brought him widespread recognition. His performance as Mr. Grace, though brief, became one of the memorable highlights of the show, contributing to its continued popularity in the 1980s. Details about Kenneth's personal life are relatively private. He was married and had children, but his family life was not heavily documented in the media. Kenneth preferred to keep his personal affairs out of the spotlight, focusing more on his professional work. Despite the lack of public details, it is known that he had a fulfilling family life alongside his acting career. While Are You Being Served was the pinnacle of his fame, Kenneth continued to act in both theater and television throughout his career. However, after the show ended, his appearances became less frequent. His role in the sitcom, though short-lived, remains one of his most iconic performances, and he is remembered fondly by fans of British comedy. Kenneth Waller passed away on January 28, 2000, at the age of 72. His death marked the loss of a beloved actor who had brought joy to audiences through his humor and warmth. He is survived by his family and remembered for his contribution to British television, especially his role as Mr. Grace in Are You Being Served? Larry Martin, born on March 22, 1934, was a British actor best known for playing Mr. Mash in the beloved sitcom Are You Being Served? He was 38 years old when the show first aired in 1972. Mr. Mash, the clumsy and often frustrated maintenance man at the fictional Grace Brothers department store, became a memorable character despite being in the series for only its first 2 seasons. Martin's comedic timing and physical humor made him a favorite among fans. Martin's career began in the 1950s, and he appeared in various television, theater, and radio productions. However, his role in Are You Being Served? Marked the peak of his fame. Though he left the show after its 2nd season, Martin remained active in television, but struggled to achieve the same level of recognition. Despite this, his reputation as a talented and reliable actor remained intact throughout his career. In his personal life, Larry Martin was married to actress and singer Evelyn Leigh. They led a relatively private life, with little public information about their family, though they were known to have a close and supportive relationship. The couple did not have children. After leaving Are You Being Served? Martin continued to work, but his roles in subsequent projects never matched the popularity of his character on the sitcom. However, his contributions to British television were significant, and he was respected for his craft. Sadly, Larry Martin passed away on August 7, 1994, at the age of 60. His death was a great loss to British comedy, as his time on Are You Being Served? Left a lasting impact on fans. Despite his relatively short time in the spotlight, Martin's role as Mr. Mash remains an enduring part of his legacy. Today, he is remembered fondly by fans of the show, and his work continues to be celebrated through reruns of Are You Being Served? The end of Are You Being Served? Marked a new beginning for its talented cast. While some continued to pursue acting, others found new passions, but all left behind an enduring legacy. Their contribution to one of the most beloved sitcoms in TV history will never be forgotten. So, as we reflect on their journeys, let's continue to enjoy the timeless comedy they helped create.